Amish Schooling. I chose the topic Amish Schooling. When somebody talks about the Amish culture, many people think of them as people without running water, without an education, and even electricity. According to AmishStudies.com, in May of 2015, there were about 300,000 Amish families living in the United States. After reading and doing some research about the Amish culture, I've learned a lot about how they get their education and how they're taught. Today I would like to give you a little background about their history and how they're even taught, and some goals in education that the Amish culture has for themselves. The Amish students are taught through grade 8. They go 1 through 8, that's it. That's their education. They're taught in a 1-classroom schoolhouse with all 8 grades in that class. The teacher also only has an 8th grade education. They don't believe in college or anything like that. The Amish believe that a person should be separate from the world by the authority of their church. They distrust what the outside world calls education, and they believe that public education is geared towards individual advancement only. Now that you know a little bit about the history, I would like to tell you about the goals in education that the Amish have for themselves. They like to show the hard work, the ethnical living, and how to be a valuable member of the community. They don't want their education to create artists, scientists, actors, musicians. They don't want any of that. They want to teach the skills needed to lead a useful Amish life while developing the ability to function and do business outside the world. They don't want it to promote separateness from the world. Like, that's what they like. They don't want to be like everybody else in the world. Amish view education as the responsibility of the parents. Like, there's not the government saying, oh, your kid needs to go to school through grade 12 or anything like that. They don't have that. In the Amish community, they don't have preschools. Their preschoolers, or what we would call preschoolers, are the younger kids, and they're supposed to follow the older children around and see what the daily chores are like and their routines. They are supposed to observe and absorb as much information like a sponge as possible. They're just supposed to take it all in and learn as much as they can from their older youth. And they also believe it is important that the younger children follow their parents and learn under their guidance. Now I'm going to just tell you a little bit about how their school day is run down. School starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 3:30 p.m., so it's like a normal school day for most students. They start school at age 6, and that is first grade. There's about 30 to 35 students in a classroom. They're usually all cousins and siblings in that school. They're taught English, reading, writing, arithmetic, and history. Religion is not taught in school, which I thought was very surprising because religion is very important to the Amish community. It is the responsibility of the parents and the church. Recess and lunch they have halfway throughout the day, and I was reading through and found it kind of surprising that softball is a game that is played almost every single day. I was also reading that you would find a backstop in a playing field at almost every Amish school. Now I'm just going to go through and tell you a little bit about the roles of the women in the Amish culture. They're usually housekeeping and motherhood. Obviously, that's kind of what all women are, but not necessarily. And I don't believe that women should have to do all the cleaning and stuff like that, but that's just the way that they believe things should be done. According to exploringamishcommunity.com, women with children almost never have full-time jobs outside of the community. They usually have like in-home stores such as bakeries and greenhouses, quilt shops, and stuff like that. They share the household decision making with their husbands. Like, they don't get to make all the decisions on their own. The men are also involved in that. The Amish wives have what they call a Sister's Day. They all get together and harvest vegetables, do some house cleaning, and make quilts. And the Amish women are very excited for this day because they don't get to get out much. And the women don't question the men. And the women are very valued in the Amish community. Now that you know about the Amish schooling, I'm going to wrap it up here. After discussing the history and the goals of the Amish education, schooling, and the roles of the women in the Amish community, you have learned that things are much different in the Amish culture than in the American culture. Although some people don't understand how or why Amish go through school like this, it is very important to view cultural differences with an open mind. Next time you think that you hate school and you don't want to go or anything like that, just think of how the Amish children have to go to school and they don't have the resources that we do, and they only have one teacher in a one classroom building with all 8 grades in it.